Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Woodward's Watercolours on a pretty rainy day. We have enjoyed the most glorious heat wave here and now it's back to the rain. But what I have is an image that I took of the scary islands of Macrocross, I think it is, point in the north coast. We were there on Sunday and it was this beautiful sunset. And what I want to do today is talk about simplifying the scene. We're going to select our Derwent Inktense pencils. That's all we're going to use. And we're going to do it quickly because that also helps the process of simplifying. So come on, let's make a start and look at simplifying a scene together using Derwent Inktense pencils. Okay, so here is the scene. This is what we're looking at. It's a beautiful scary island. Look at those colours, aren't they just fantastic? Yellows and oranges and Payne's grey. So anyway, what we're going to do first of all, which for me, one of the things I find most helpful with the Derwent Inktense is this simplification, because it really does force you to decide the colour. So I'm going to use the Storm Dust, which is 2107. I'm going to find my Payne's grey. Where is it? That's Chinese ink. Don't want that one. Payne's grey, which is 2110. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to find is, so let's look for sort of tone. So Baked Earth could be quite good. This is going to be too strong, I think, because although it might be good for a couple of the highlights. So let me take out the Tangerine. So it's 0300. I'm going to take Baked Earth, although that one is, the mustard is pretty explosive. I don't know whether I want it. Let's have the Baked Earth for 1800, if you can see that one there. And I think maybe a little bit of the Sun Yellow, which is 0200. So I don't know that we need much more than that. Well, the only other thing I'm thinking is to have the ink black for the very black points. It always takes me a minute to try and find it because it looks awfully like something else. So there's ink black there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sharpen these pencils using this sharpener, which is the best sharpener I have ever had. It's a Faber-Castell, and it just has those two options. I always go for the jumbo size. So I'm going to sharpen these, and I'll roll this up, and then we're going to make a start. Okay, that's sharpened. Now look at that. There was no breakage, no nothing. Without fail, gets me to this really good point. Okay, so let's make a start here. So going to move quickly with this because I want this to be nice and simple. So just getting in the marks of the scaries, and notice how I am increasing the pressure just in different points, getting the general shapes, not getting too bogged down in what I think, just leaning really heavy to get those really much darker marks there. Okay, the Scary Islands, they really are very lovely. Really lovely part of the world up there. If you ever get the chance to visit it, go for it. Okay, so I'm going for the storm across the top here, and what we're establishing now is the horizon line effectively, and I'm going to flip then to the Payne's grey just to add in a little mark there. Oh, is it bricks? Just to add in a little mark for that little bit of an island there. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is use the Payne's grey across here to get this kind of the effect of the water, and we're moving quickly because I find that helps me simplify more than anything else at times. Okay, so then what I want to do is I'm going to use some, I don't know about this Baked Earth. I'm going to maybe leave the Baked Earth. I think what I'll do is substitute the Baked Earth for the Poppy Red. Let's go for the Poppy Red in that regard, okay? And we'll just use a little bit of it with the mixed, what was I going to say? So we're substituting out the Baked Earth and we're putting in the Poppy Red, which is 0400, and we're going to use it. So we're going to use that just a little bit kind of loosely here, and then I'm going to flip to the Tangerine. Okay, so just making some simple marks, and then we're going to the Sun Yellow, and I'm going to add in a little bit of that Sun Yellow. You can see it sort of mix ever so slightly already, and then a little bit in here and a little bit there. So we are really simplifying this scene, and the Storm Dust is going to be the dominant one that I use for this cloud here. And so the clouds are really quite dark across here, down here. We're not trying to get every cloud in absolutely perfectly. We're just moving it around to try and leaning heavy in for some of those much darker areas. Getting some of those little bits there, little bit joins in there. Maybe like doing a bit of a soundtrack when I'm trying to do this. And then so that would use Payne's grey there, but what I'm going to do is just add in just a little bit of that storm in there, and we'll see what we can do. And let's use some more of that Tangerine across there, and we'll mix it more fully, I think, with the sun yellow. And let's see what happens here. Okay, and then just little bits in here. Okay, dead on. That's all we're gonna do. Okay, all we're doing with the can't even remember my words, the Derwent Inktense pencil. So this is a Cotman 25mm. I don't really, it's just a Cotman watercolor brush. I inherited this one. Let's start with this little bit here. So remember this kind of emotion that I'm getting from using the side part of the brush here, and hopefully what's going to happen, moving it across in that rocking motion. Okay, and this is not about getting a full accuracy, or this is about getting the sense of the scene. Okay, so that's what we're up to here. I really want to highlight that this is not about getting a full accuracy. This is about something that you can do when you're sitting on a cruise ship somewhere, when you're sitting beside the ocean, when you have a few minutes. This is what you're able to do, and it's not about trying to get something absolutely perfect and accurately. We're letting that go, and we're just gonna see where this takes us. Okay, then the next thing is we're gonna start agitating and mixing these together. Okay, so getting some of the brightness of this sky, and I'm wanting to deliberately mix in some of the storm, and I'm gonna let it move a little bit together. Okay, now you can see that it looks like we've got a hairstyle happening here. We'll sort that out in a little second, but for now, the thing I like about the storm dust is that it's really quite opaque, which works really well for me. I'm agitating it differently. You can see how I am setting it flat, and I am pushing it around and moving it about. And it has, because it's more opaque, it's given me a totally different feel than the others, you know. So let's get that in there, and I'm going to actually bring some of that down to this area across here, and that's going to settle down what's happening with the marks. And then I'm actually going to lift from some of these areas here and drop across here to bring that down. And because the sky, obviously, the ocean reflects what's going on in the sky. Okay, and then let's agitate some of this yellow across here with that, leaving some little bits of white, and then that stronger section there. I'm going to flick just a bit. See, that's the mixed one there. And then what I can also do is agitate a little bit across here and get some splats across there. Now you may say, oh goodness, Colin, we haven't got any of that one in there. So I could do exactly the same there, and that's us finished. Okay, so I've just added in the stampers, which is the scaries, and just popped in my signature, but also you can begin to see this settle. I'm actually really pleased with this because it has given me just a nice quick sketch. I think it was done in under 5 minutes. I have to check that. I shall confirm, I shall check, and when I'm doing my after bit analysis, I shall confirm with you whether it is under 5 minutes. So you can see the sun yellow that was here. You can see where the poppy red was used just a little bit more strongly here. The tangerine actually was really important in this. The most important, I think, colour that I used was the Storm Dust, that 2107. That's a new addition to the Inktense that I have. And it just works really well, mixed in with that Payne's grey. And the only place I used the ink black then was in that little bit of the island. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Inktense pencils. Hopefully you can see that it's beneficial to sit and look at the scene and go, okay, what colours will I use? So selecting them first, and then really you're just going with it. I'm really enjoying these marks that are left behind, which is something that I love, and I know that some of you don't. I'm very happy, even though I think that that's probably more golden, that bit of reflection, but actually I think that yellow works really well. So all in, really pleased. Really quick sketch. Hopefully this is something that you find helpful and achievable. Well, I have checked and it was slightly over 5 minutes, but hey, it was under 6 minutes. I think that's pretty good for being able to do a sketch that actually feels like it captures the feeling of being there in that moment. And I was there, and I know, and you know when you're there, and you know when you've captured it, and it is so, so good when you're able to do it quickly. So what I'm suggesting is that to simplify the scene, that you look at the colors that you're going to use, find a tool, a media that is going to help you to do that. I find that the Derwent Inktense are absolutely perfect for it because I can lay it down and then use the brush to move it around. Really enjoyable process. Anyway, hope that you found it beneficial. Do try it out. Excited to read your comments on this one as always. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that little bell icon at the top and it'll let you know of when new videos are dropping. And do send me suggestions as always of videos of things that you would like me to do and things you would like to see me attempt. I am more than happy to step into things that I'm not that familiar with. In fact, got an email from someone recently just asking about drawing people. I have had some success in drawing people, but I am by no means a portrait artist in any shape or form, but I love trying out new things. For more information about me, head to woodwardswatercolours.co.uk. All of my artwork is for sale. If that's something that you would like to buy, then I would love to sell it to you. Also, do consider membership. It's a primary means of supporting me in my travels in Birdie the Bongo. And if you're enjoying the videos, then do please consider doing that. Either way, lovely to have you here. Thank you to all you new subscribers. Really good to have you along. And I'm really quite overwhelmed by the response and the subscribers that I have. So thank you very much for that. But that's it from me for now. And I will see you in the next episode of Woodward's Watercolours sometime soon. Bye, everybody.